Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another episode with iTrack. Big shout out to everybody that's been tapping in. I appreciate you guys. And if this is your first time here, what we like to do is take a look at the most interesting and creepy TikToks and kind of evaluate for ourselves whether these are fact or fake. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button for me, smash that subscribe button, and join the iTrack fam. And without any further ado, we're just gonna jump right into it.
Oh, what the is, man?
Look at the galaxy.
Hey, stop playing, man.
The dimension right there. I probably go through that and see all my past stuff.
What that, man? Hey, that's a meteor. That bitch.
Oh man, this nigga.
Boy, that's a meteor, boy.
You don't know what the I didn't say that's a meteor. I'm laughing at you, dog. I don't even know what the fuck a meteor is. But boy, you yeah, that been yeah, that been was scorching.
Mile in length. One of them landed on the airport landing strip area. When it touched the ground, it created an earthquake like about a 3.5 to 4.0. It terrified everybody in the area. The back of this craft opened up, and several hundred young men with huge, heavy weapons came out of two sides of the ship and formed a protection line around the ship. And the people at that Air Force base, the commander, had a meeting with the individuals that were aboard this ship. And this particular race that landed those ships and that are seen in these huge cigar-shaped ships, they are a black race. They look like African Americans. They were about 6'4", 6'5", these tight-fitting black leather outfits on, and the weapons that they came out of the ships with, they were huge weapons. And if you've ever seen a race of people that were conquerors, that had never been...
You guys want to hear some really weird stuff about frequencies?
Yeah.
Do you know the man named Robert Monroe?
Nope.
No.
This guy, he figured out the science to use certain frequencies to control out-of-body experiences. But what's creepy is that, and he would speak to entities
Oh no.
that would teach him how to use frequencies.
Yeah.
Nikola Tesla also talked about learning in his sleep, like out-of-body experiences and learning from entities. All these brilliant people all talked about how they learned stuff while they slept. But what's creepy is that the CIA basically bought his patents to start the Project Stargate, which is, he said, you can travel across the universe and you can go into different dimensions. You can go to the subatomic level. You can do whatever you want. But people always talk about when they leave, there's always an entity that is showing them around and teaching them stuff. They're versions of yourself. This is what he's being taught by this entity. He's like, and he stated this thing. He's like, you can be your own god.
Heard that before.
Red flag. It's like the same concept as like taking DMT and stuff. Like, I think you really are accessing the spiritual world, you know? They're going into this spiritual realm and they probably should not belong there.
Yeah.
And you know what? I actually believe that because we're all being guided by something, you know, that inner voice that lets us know, go left, go right, you know, there's danger in the room, things like that. So that's pretty interesting that the CIA wanted to go ahead and patent it and keep it for themselves, you know? And then here we are with Stargate. Very interesting.
I only listen to people who are younger than me. These are the only people with ideas. You cannot give me any advice. You can help me. You can support Donda. You can cut a check. You can help me build some infrastructure. But I have the ideas. No one older than me has a better idea than me because I'm the only 36-year-old me. I'm the most relevant voice on the planet Earth at age 36, post being the most hated. So don't try to tell me anything. Help me. me help other people.
You gotta love Kanye for always speaking from his soul, man. That man always says exactly what's on his mind, and it's evident.
This is the Celebrity Baby Mama Hall of Fame. Elon Musk has 10 kids with 5 different women, working for 8 different companies. Sean Kemp has 6 baby mamas, 7 kids, and an 8-ball. Clint Eastwood has 8 children with 6 baby mamas and is probably a few years away from getting 86 himself. Future's the Michael Irvin of reproducing. The Playmaker's got 8 kids with 8 different women. In January 2017, Gary Busey recorded the career double-double. He's got 10 kids with 10 different women. The Hooded Fang doesn't always wear a hood. Young Buck Heinz Mustard gets it right on the first squeeze. He's got 13 kids with 11 different baby mamas. Mr. Worldwide's a Hawaiian Islands volcano. He's got 21 kids with 18 different women in 13 different countries. He sees them all twice a year, and he's never missed a child support payment.
Well, fellas, if you got a lot of baby mamas, this should let you know you still have yet a chance to be great. Don't give up.
The United States military will test launch an intercontinental ballistic missile just hours after election polls close. The ICBM is scheduled to take off between 11:01 p.m. and 5:01 a.m. Pacific time from California's Vandenberg Space Force Base. Military officials said the test is routine and is meant to show the readiness of nuclear U.S. forces. The ICBM will travel a distance of about 4,200 miles and reach speeds over 15,000 miles per hour.
You know what? I don't even blame them for that. Because if you stay ready, you definitely don't have to get ready.
So here we have the hanging pillar, which is said to be not touching the ground, like it's levitating. This is amazing. So you can actually run a sheet right underneath it, and actually it appears to be hanging from the ceiling. We look up here. But there is actually a point, a small part in one of the corners, where it actually does touch the ground. So this is what's balancing it here. Amazing. You can see here that they're pulling a sheet underneath it to show you that it's hanging. But is it really hanging? Or has it been affected by when the English came and they tried to adjust the pillar? Seems that might be the case if you look at the official records. So it's not actually hanging, it's actually balancing on one point, just at the base.
The fuck is this shit?
But the Oscars recently, as in last night, came out with new rules as of 2024. You actually have to fulfill certain rules in order for your picture to be eligible for Best Picture.
What's that?
Level of black LGBTQ or female representation on screen. Stories that
This is about the Pentagon.
or I guess death. Well, really, this is something in there on screen. Or a certain number of.
You know what? That is a bit strange because it is nighttime, and I'm not aware of any birds that fly around like that at night. But if you have any great ideas about what it could be, let me know in the comments.
You're in one of these alien crafts.
That's what you're gonna see.
You're gonna see exactly this. Not an exaggeration, not some type of Hollywood mock-up.
Exactly.
From a first-hand witness, exactly what you would find on an alien craft.
And he goes, I got goosebumps. It almost feels like it's gonna work. You take off the hemisphere. Basically, that's like a replica of element 115, okay? There is this little drift tube that goes on the inside. Element 115, there's these 2 little grooves that it kind of sits in like that. And then you put the cap on like that. He says, as soon as you put the hemisphere on it, he goes, it won't work. You keep it like that, it won't work. He says, as soon as you do that, as long as the emitter, as soon as Barry would rotate the emitter, that turned on. He goes, the stronger you would push, the harder it would push you back. So he says, yeah, it's very likely that it's simply like some type of gravitational field or some other force that we're not aware of. This sits on the floor of the center of the craft. So there's 1, 2, 3 seats, and there's a center area where there's an actual indentation in the floor that's square.
Yeah.
That's where this sits. It doesn't lock into place, it just sits there. And from the ceiling, there's a 3-inch diameter pipe you could pull down from the ceiling, and it applies perfectly on top of the reactor. And it's signed by Bob. If you look underneath, it's got Bob's signature on it.
Okay.
We are the...
I ask you a serious question.
What?
Would you show me your underwear? No, just kidding.
My co-host tonight is the great Paul Schaefer.
Wow, Whitney Houston and me co-hosting Friday Night Videos. Here we go.
All right.
Can we say how old you are on TV?
Sure.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
22 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow. You have the body of a 23-year-old. Anybody ever told you that?
You. Manic Monday.
I love when you talk dirty. Don't move.
I'm not going anywhere. Here's a video by someone that I've worked with many times, Jermaine Jackson. What's the name of it again?
I think it's love.
Hey.
I think he's right, too. You got that dress on.
That dress.
Oh, it's
Huh?
great. That is a great dress.
Thank you.
I wanted to have it taken in a little bit, though.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Just a little too big, huh?
Yeah, a little bigger.
Okay.
What are you doing later?
I don't know. What are you doing later?
I thought maybe we might get a drink.
Great. Why not?
At the bar. This is like a dream come true for me.
Thank you.
Hey, what was actually happening there? He was shooting his shot, and he was making every single one of them. Now, I'm not sure if it was just the role they were playing, which I highly doubt it, but that was it was odd and a little creepy all at the same time. Let me know what you think.
Scientists thought they had the most of the answers when it came to the blood types. After all, the majority of humans, roughly 85%, share Rh-negative positive blood, a trait we inherit from our common ancestors, the primates. But there's that other 15%, those with Rh-negative blood, and this is where things get strange. Now, Rh-negative blood doesn't appear in any other primate species. No chimpanzees, no gorillas, no monkeys, none of them carry this blood type. In fact, there is no clear evolutionary explanation why it exists at all. So how did humans, among the creatures of Earth, end up with this genetic trait? What's even more puzzling is how Rh-negative blood interacts with Rh-positive blood. Once again, when a Rh-negative mother carries a Rh-positive child, her body often treats the fetus as an invader, attacking it as if it was a disease. Now, in evolutionary terms, this makes no sense. Why would the mother's body reject its own offspring? A process could jeopardize the survival of the species. The tension grows when we consider the implication of this anomaly. If Rh-negative blood isn't a natural evolutionary mutation, then where did it come from? And why does these populations like the Basque in Europe have a disproportionately high percentage Rh-negative individuals? These questions have led to decades of speculation, not just among scientists, but also those seeking explanation beyond the...
So some people in the house, like, why y'all feel depressed, right? The reason y'all feel so depressed, right, is because the Freemasons, known as the bricklayers, right, designed your houses. They know geometry, right? So they built your room, they built your houses in the shape of a square or a rectangle. This shape drains your energy. That's why the presence is in a square and a rectangle. When you sit in a room all day, your energy have nowhere to go. This is why people go into nature, right? This is why a house was built back in the day in a triangle shape, because the rectangle, if you study geometry, or the square, is designed to drain your energy, right? So when you feel depressed in the bed all day in this room, the shape of the room is draining all your energy. So you got to go outside in nature and the sun to go get your energy back, right? Is energy preserved on the planet just for you? Go outside, go get it from the sun. I don't know if y'all can see it, but yeah, nature got energy, the sun got energy, and certain foods got energy. So what you lacking is just energy. Go get it. It's free energy everywhere.
You know who really are the entrepreneurs statistically in the world? The C students. Yeah. The C students.
because they don't like to work in the box. They don't follow rules. If something doesn't kind of be a waste of time to them, they don't do it. When everybody else is kind of running by the clock and the bell's going to ring, they want to get this lesson done. They want to make sure they're more interested in grades, where the entrepreneur is looking outside the window dreaming his dreams. He's thinking, what am I going to do? He's the one that doesn't see limitations. He's the one that doesn't want to be told what to do. He can follow rules, but he wants to kind of chart his own course.
I'd even just see students, but a lot of them didn't even finish college. Mark Zuckerberg and a handful of other billionaires realized, experience is exactly what they needed and not time in the classroom. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't go to college. It's just an interesting statistic.
Shit was a distraction, and what? The 23andMe thing is going crazy because all of the people are leaving, all of the board members are leaving, and there's some sus things that people think are gonna happen to the company. Now, the theory goes with what's gonna happen with the DNA, because it's a DNA company that everybody gave their DNA to this company, and there's a data leak. What's gonna happen to all that information though? Why is it such a problem? My mom gave me this idea.
Whoa, what is it?
My mom gave me the idea, and I'm like, holy shit, that makes so much fucking sense.
Yeah.
Why is it that the Diddy stuff is happening exactly when the 23andMe stuff is happening? Check this out. It's a DNA thing. What can they use for DNA? They can frame people with DNA, bro. They can frame people for murder, for rape, for name the crime.
Oh my God,
with
that's crazy.
DNA. If they have every single piece of DNA, or at least a great majority of people in the world, because people gave the ancestry lines leading to different people, you can just connect the dots. You can fill in the puzzle, bro. They have all that DNA. Yo, they can forget cloning, forget like making new people, making robots. They can deadass just straight up frame people that they want out.
And DNA is that's what they go to get the truth, fam.
Yeah.
If your DNA is on that, you're gone.
At first.
You know what? There's a lot of cap in that, and I think he was reaching just a bit. DNA is part of the equation, but you also got to prove that the person was there.
At first, the noise was faint, so they muted the TV to listen more closely. When the sound returned, they were startled to recognize what sounded like a horse's neigh echoing across their property, which has a history as an old horse farm but is now eerily vacant. Armed only with their cell phone, they recorded the sound, catching something far more chilling in the process. Take a look. It can be hard to see at first, but a white figure can be seen pacing up and down their driveway. The ghostly apparition appears to move along the sidewalk. Behind their car. And eventually towards the barn before disappearing altogether.
I'd like to introduce you to the idea of water as an intelligent designer. Here I exposed water to my friend's photo, removed and froze using a special method, and it designed her face. I showed the ice result to the water, and it designed a negative of her face. I briefly placed my thumb in the water and then froze it, and water designed a thumb with a chip in the nail. I chipped my nail in exactly the same place 3 hours later. Here I used a conceptual word of ego. It's a word I have no visual for, which removes any mental projection, and water designed a person with big shoulders, a small face, and a giant balloon head. I used the word milk as an influence, and water designed a breast. I wasn't thinking of human milk, so this was a surprise. You notice that the ice designs are not photocopies of the influence, but more of an interpretation, and to me, this is clear display of some kind of awareness. I honestly don't think we know what water really is yet.
A ship don't disappear over the horizon bottom first. That's a 100% complete lie from Satan, and you can prove that with the Nikon P1000. You can take a ship that has vanished on the ocean, take a P1000, a camera that Nikon sells, and zoom in on that ship and completely see the whole body of the ship once it's out of range of visibility from the eye. So I can tell you right now that's a lie. If you think, oh well, when a ship goes out in the ocean, it disappears bottom first. No, it don't. Use the P1000 and zoom in on it. You'll be able to see a ship that's not visible with the naked eye.
Little grays are not what people think they are. They are robotic creatures. I called them a robot one time, and they said, it's not exactly a robot, it is a biologically created being. And you know, if we get around to making robots, we're going to make them look just like little humans. Say the smaller version of the tall gray scientists that are on the laboratory craft. So when they have to send the beings down to do the samplings and the testing on the humans and take them, they will always come in the small craft, and you will usually see the little gray beings. The little gray beings have been created to withstand the density of the earth, the heaviness. And that's all they are. To me, they're like, I call them gophers. They're the ones that just do the chores and do what they're supposed to do and take the things back, because it's too hard on their bodies to enter our dimension. So you're going to see more of the little beings in the smaller craft than you will the others, and the large craft stays out of the atmosphere. Occasionally, a person has to have tests done that will have to be done on the larger craft. In that case, they will take the person and they have to speed up the vibration and frequency of the human body so they can exist in that environment for a short period of time. They do it as quick as they can because it's very hard on the human body. And they put them into a hypnotic-like state because they don't want them to remember, they don't want it to hurt the psyche. So they take them on board the larger craft, do what they have to do, and bring them back. Now, I have had people talk about waking up feeling paralyzed and with bruises on their body. And they'll say, what happened? Did they take me and beat me up? All that happened was when you do this raising of the vibration and lowering the vibration again, they said they have to lower the vibration to bring you back. Just that act of breathing can create bruises on the body because the molecular structure and the cellular structure is not by the right vibration. And then when they come back into the body, it takes a few seconds to get back into this vibration and to hook it all up again, so they have this feeling of paralysis if they happen to wake up at the wrong time. And the bruises are just from the shifting of the dimensions. To me, that makes a whole lot more sense.
Now, we've watched a whole lot of people claiming they've been abducted on my channel, and the majority of them say they do feel paralyzed, so she might have some merit to what she's saying. But I definitely ain't trying to find out.
Okay, so watch this video. Two things are about to go down. He's going to transmute his energy to heat, and he's going to emit it. Look at that. The accuracy, the precision, the passion and experience it must have took to transmute into fire so effortlessly. Wow.
Marshmallows.
Yo, bro. Bro.
Bro. Derek. Come here now. Look at what it's doing to my phone. That's a fucking trip. What the fuck, dude? Did you see how close that got? Look, look. Look. Look what it's doing to my phone.
Dude, what the fuck?
Look what it's doing to my phone right now, bro. Watch, it will zoom in. It will zoom in. Look, look, it's zooming in.
Wake up.
There's something like a big ball, like a light.
Look, there's two of them. Oh my god.
I know, dude.
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
Appears identical to this, moves between these nuclear silos, and shot off again at a 45-degree angle. What it is, I don't know, but now, when it goes over a body of water, I do have some footage of that. This is when that same object, a jellyfish UFO, goes out over this like, you can kind of get an idea by that distance now how far these optic systems can reach. When it gets to that point where it's over the water, every source that I have talked with who is aware of this footage, that footage exists. You've got a UFO or UAP descends into the water stiff, comes back up, and then shoots off 45 degrees. Now, this was by an intelligence agency and buried. So I don't know, man. These are the cases that spark me. It's in thermal. It was filmed on a weapons platform. You see that there's a dog there. You see the animals are black. I'm assuming this is black hot. You see the object just went to white, and you'll see it going from white to black, and that's basically showing the heat differential. So it's going like hot and cold, hot and cold. The problem was the optics platform was jammed. These individuals who target with these platforms, they can shoot out an Al-Qaeda tire at 27 miles away, but I was able to find direct eyewitnesses and corroborate that this event did happen. When individuals would took these hanging things, they were stiff, like they weren't moving. They had geometric form, like scales, who were out and they were tasked to go look for it, couldn't see it on the night vision. Only in the thermal spectrum could it be seen. But anything that looks like that appears to have a payload, that's a big deal. It could be dangerous. So that put me on high alert too. Why is it completely being... This is when that same object, a jellyfish UFO...
I think the creepiest thing about that is that it looked like a jellyfish, you know, and the fact that it did have the heat and the cold sensors to go from hot to cold, strangest thing ever. But I want to know, did they ever catch it? What became of it?
One of the things that I wanted to talk to you about is the JFK files. And one of the things that you said was that if they showed you what they showed me, this was your quote, you wouldn't want people to know it either.
There's a Martin Luther King file too, by the way, that they'd like to see. But JFK in particular. So they called me, a lot of good people called me, and they asked me not to do it. So I said, well, we'll close it for another time. But I think I've opened 50%, but I was asked not to do it, and I thought that was a reasonable ask. But now I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it immediately, almost immediately upon entering office.
When people look at it from the outside and you sort of imagine what could be a reason why they would not release those files, it would be there's people that were implicated in the assassination.
Yeah. Well, when there are living people, you generally tend not to want to do it. When people are still living.
Living people that formerly worked for the government.
For the government, and living people that were somehow involved in it, and you tend not to do that. But it's time to open up.
The most interesting thing about that is that a lot of Americans have no clue about these secret files, you know, on JFK, on Martin Luther King, and the contents inside of those files must be important for him to want to open them up and essentially let the world see. I can't wait to see.
Emotional maturity. Refuse to be offended. When people ignore or are mean or rude to you, they're revealing themselves. They're telling you what's within themselves, not what's within you. How you treat those who mistreat you reveals your emotional and spiritual maturity.
only governmentally confirmed case of possession.
How many noses does a monkey have?
A completely unknown molecular compound was found in her food. Not a disease, not a parasite, an evil.
In 1974, a group of researchers would get together and form what would be called the Atticus Institute. They decided that they were going to take a crack at one thing: the study of paranormal abilities in humans.
Our goal was to conduct unbiased empirical research on exceptional human abilities, psychokinesis, ESP, precognition, things that are typically considered fringe science or parapsychology.
And for 2 years, it goes about as well as you would expect. They find almost nothing. It wasn't until 1976 when a woman by the name of Judith Winstead was brought to their door.
Can you please stop that,
Can you
Judith?
please stop that, please?
We'd really like to continue.
We had about 10 different degrees between us, including 1 in medicine, 3 in psychology. We knew that was not normal.
The thing about Judith Winstead is that she didn't have any special powers. She wasn't psychic, she wasn't telekinetic. It was something far older and far more incomprehensible than what any of these researchers could come up with.
How do you choose your host?
She didn't have any special abilities, but she was definitely filled with them demons.
One of you who has a phone in their hand should have a deep think about why they don't have removable batteries anymore. They tell us it's for better water resistance or to make your phone slimmer, but do you really believe that? Back then, you could just pop that sucker out, slap in your backup battery, and boom, you were back at 100. No power banks and no waiting around. They've made sure you can't ever do that again. Others say it's all about money, right? Because they want us to buy a new phone. But think about it, wouldn't they make more money selling backup batteries? The truth? The battery was the only thing you could control. Once you take away your ability to remove the battery, you can never really turn your phone off. Even if you hit that power button, it's still listening. How else do you think your phone switched itself on for the alarm? They needed a way to make sure we couldn't just cut the power. You pop that battery out, boom. No more tracking. So what do? They take away the option. An airplane mode? Yeah, that's a joke. That's like trusting incognito mode to keep you safe from the CIA. And here's the kicker. This was always the plan from the start. Once they figured we weren't catching on, they went all in on non-removable batteries. It's the perfect system. And here's where it gets really freaky. Every phone company, and I mean every single one, made this change at the same time without exception. Think about that for a second. Not a single mainstream phone manufacturer lets you just pop out the battery anymore. None of them. It's like they all got the same memo at the same time. And the craziest part? Nobody questioned it. We just accepted it. Like sheep, we went along with the idea that it's just the next step in technology. Phones are getting better. Now, I'm not saying toss your phone out, but next time you stare deep into that camera lens, ask yourself, who's really on the other end? I'm going to go ahead and say this is just a joke for entertainment purposes.
Hey, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not trying to replace a battery every couple of hours. I prefer it to just be in there and me just have a charge bank or something like that. So he might have been reaching just a little bit, man. Let me know what you think.
To go around the sun. Takes a year. Takes 6 months to get to this side. This is what they're telling us. Our planet is going around the sun. It's daytime on the part of Earth that's facing the sun. Nighttime is always on the outside. We got all these stars over here that we're seeing at night. 6 months later, we're seeing all those stars, right? So there should be, every 3 months or 6 months, there should be a different set of stars.
Constellation, yeah, I was telling you. constellation. See the same
constellation every time. Why do we see the Big Dipper
every night?
Every night.
Okay, well, so you didn't have a happy childhood.
It was very violent.
Elon said he wanted to go and live with his father, and that made me very sad because I didn't see why he would wanted to do that. His father had the Encyclopedia Britannica. I couldn't afford books. I mean, he'd read everything in the library in Durban, so he had the opportunity to actually read the whole encyclopedias. I could call him anytime and ask him any subject, anything in the world.
I do know that you were bullied at school and had a difficult...
I was almost beaten to death, if you'd call that bullied.
He was shy and awkward at school. Elon didn't have many friends.
Every 40 seconds, someone in the U.S. has a heart attack. Being overweight and diabetes are known risks, but your emotional state also plays a huge role. American Heart Association researchers found social isolation can increase the risk for a heart attack 29%.
Loneliness in general is activating the same part of your brain as physical pain.
Kat Moore trains educators and employers on how to create cultures of belonging. A recent Gallup poll estimates 52 million Americans still struggle with it. If you're feeling lonely, the Surgeon General says, authentic connections start with conversations with those closest to you. Get out into the community and volunteer. Talk to your healthcare provider about how you're feeling. And above all, be kind to yourself. Practice deep breathing, yoga, regular exercise, and get outdoors.
You can find parks, you can look at the sky, but being able to get your body regulated, put your body in a state of ease so that you know you're part of something.
You know what? I just must be the odd one out, because for the most part, I like my alone time. But like we all know, everything definitely is not for everybody.
Is to say, if you take parts of the Optimus humanoid robot and you combine that with a Neuralink, let's say somebody has lost their arms or legs, we could actually attach an Optimus arm or Optimus legs and do a Neuralink implant so that the motor commands from your brain that would go to your biological arms now go to your robot arms or robot legs. And again, you'd have basically cybernetic superpowers.
Actually, so the link.
Hey, Elon is definitely on some otherworldly type stuff. He is a true chess player. Because I did not see that coming. I didn't see that coming. And you and I both know a lot of people are going to definitely opt into that. Especially the people that are paraplegic that can't move. That'll be really cool for them. Well, you guys, hey, that's another one in the books, man. I appreciate you guys for stopping by and watching another one with me. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button for me. Smash the subscribe button. Join the iTrack fam. And I'll definitely catch you on the next one.